Well, hi there. My name is Charles Ray Dawson, and I am the Residential Sales Manager and Associate Broker of ProStar Realty, and this is the Unnamed Real Estate Podcast. In another first, I'm going to be using tech to replace my normal self today, because I am sick. Sick for the holidays again. I can't talk for more than a few minutes without coughing up a lung, so I'm going to use this time to test out some toys I've been meaning to play with, like text-to-voice. The picture you're seeing now is what Grok thinks I look like based on my tweets. This is Grok's mental image of me. I'm not really complaining. I've always been so much cooler online, and I'm seriously resisting making a grind your corn reference here. For those who remember, I was going to do a So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent video last week, but the recording got corrupted. But I was able to salvage most of it, but the slides didn't carry over either. So, I am currently typing out the voices in my head as I imagine myself doing my normal recording routine. I'll then save the file, run it through text to voice, take that and spice it with existing footage, and basically teach myself how to be a video engineer in the next few hours and get this uploaded today. On time, because that's what I do. So let's start with the numbers. And these are the numbers for December 26, 2024. Actives this week in 20,286, down 354. New listings are 893, down a lot because of the holiday. Contracts are 1268, also down because of the holiday. Closings are 1238. And coming soon to an MLS near you of 354 new listings. Our Cromford reports that supply is 86.8. Our demand is 77.1, giving us a total score of 88.9. These are our city numbers, with a lot of green and red for the holiday. But we can't read anything into them. People pull their houses off the market for Christmas week. We won't get usable data until mid-January. Other numbers is that in Maricopa County, the median house price is $474,000. Remember this number, because I'll be referring to it in the next part. From here, it should be all live recording. I hope this idea for digital worked. Let me know in the comments below.
Reason you want to be a real estate agent. I'm not sure why, but let's go over what that is. Yeah, sorry about that. Phone started going off, so I just paused the whole thing. So you've decided you want to be a real estate agent. Maybe the career that you're not been doing now isn't working out for you. Maybe you're unemployed. Maybe your industry shut down. Maybe you decided you need a side gig, side hustle. Maybe you watch way too much home and garden television, and for some reason you've decided, oh, that looks easy. You want to be a real estate agent. You have a image in your head of what being a real estate agent is. Let's think of it like this. People who watch a lot of TV think they know what being a cop is like. They don't realize that a lot of time being a cop is dealing with drunk people who just got into an accident, writing reports because somebody just got their home broken into, wrestling around on the ground with drunk people who are throwing up on you. And being a police officer, in many cases, every day you are dealing with somebody else that you do not know who is having the worst day of their life. And tomorrow, you get to do it all over again. All right, so you see, I tell you that to sort of picture, it's not quite the way, whatever it is you think it is. Now, there are people out there who have family who are real estate agents. Maybe their mom or dad were a real estate agent, and they saw what happened. Right? They have a lot more, a much better view of what it's actually going to be. I would honestly say that I think my wife had a better understanding of what my life was going to be when I decided to become a real estate agent than I did, even though I'd been in the industry for 20 years at that point, 17, something like that. So that, that all being said, what is a day in the life of a real estate agent? All right. Well, if you don't have a listing, and you don't have anything in escrow, every morning when you wake up, you're unemployed. And that's something that a lot of people do not get in real estate, is that this is one of the few industries left that is 100% all on you, kiddo. Now, you might find yourself a brokerage with some great training. You might find yourself a mentor. All right. You don't get to go. How do I describe this? Nobody's going to call you at 9 o'clock, on Monday morning asking where you're at because you weren't supposed to be there at 8:30. All right. You set your own schedule, which is awesome. All right. But then setting that schedule now is on you. I've said this many times, right? You will never realize how lousy of an employee you are until you work for yourself. And you will also not realize what an asshole boss you are until you're working for yourself. Right? So if you're the kind of person who can sit there and go, yeah, I can self-start. I'm a self-starter. It says so right here on my resume. Or whatever. You will not realize how much of a self-starter you are or are not until you start working for yourself as a real estate agent. But hey, you know what? To streamline this thing, I went to ChatGPT and I said, write me an essay about the pros and cons of being a real estate agent. And they spit out some highlights. So let's go over these things real quick. All right. Pro, number 1, flexibility. All right. I decided I want to sleep until 7:30 this morning. I'm sleeping until 7:30 this morning because I don't have to be at the office at 8:30. All right. But I might have. All right. But if I was going to be, I would have scheduled that time myself. That's actually pretty cool. All right. So people who need a flexible schedule can look into real estate and it might work out for them. We're going to cover some of this on the cons. All right. Now, the other one is unlimited earning potential. Yes, there is no ceiling when it comes to this. Right? There are people who are billionaires today who started off as a sales agent, schlepping houses out in the suburbs. Right? You can go that far in this job. Right? Just remember, they're not the 1%. All right? They're the 0.0001% of real estate agents who actually get that far. All right? And I personally think that those people right there who have achieved that could have achieved it anywhere, in any industry, because they have that particular kind of psychosis that allows them to exceed like that. So, but you have a huge top end. It's not like, some careers out there, oh, I want to be a school teacher and make $1.5 million. You ain't going to be making $1.5 million a year as a school teacher. But you can as a real estate agent. All right. So there is a very top end earning potential. Other side of this, pro, if you like helping people. All right. Now, I got a con on the other side of this. There's a dark side to that particular point, all right, of helping people. But you do get to help people out. And it is really cool when you come across and you have helped somebody achieve their dream that they've thought of their entire life. All right. Sometimes help them out of a situation that they're in. All right. The more knowledgeable you have, the more solutions you have to other people's problems. Right. That's pretty cool. I enjoy it. That's definitely one of the top reasons why I'm a real estate agent, because it really does sort of warm the cockles of my heart. All right. Other thing is variety. Some people are not cut out to it because of the variety. If you are the kind of person who needs a set schedule every day, if you want everything to be cookie cutter in routine, if you're the kind of person who can have 20 widgets on one side of the desk and spend all day long taking those 20 widgets and moving them to the other side of the desk, so at the end of the day at 5 o'clock, you got 20 completed widgets on this side, and tomorrow morning you're going to do exactly the same thing, and you're willing to do that for the next 35 years, this is not your industry. Get the hell out. Right? Things are going to go really, really boring and really, really crazy, and then back to really, really boring. And you can do that in one day. Hell, you can do that between lunch and the time you go home. Right? So definitely variety, and that's another really top reason why I like real estate. Right? And at the end of it, like I said, you get to be your own boss, all right? And I think I've already covered this, but if you don't like being told what to do, all right, you get to go to do whatever what you want to do until you hit one of those guardrails out there, like you hit the ethics and the legal side. You bounce between ethics and legal, right? They're not always the same thing, all right? But you do get to be your own boss. You got a marketing program you want to do, you get to do your own marketing program. You want to only take a certain houses in a certain area, you can do the houses in a certain areas. If you decide you want to take a day off to go fishing, go take the day off, go fishing, right? The worst that's going to happen is you're going to lose your client and lose a sale and get a bad reputation. But if you want to screw your reputation on that, go fishing. All right. So a lot of people do like that be your own boss thing. All right. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. That was a big plus for me. All right. I do not have to worry about my company deciding to maximize shareholder value and outsource my department to India. I don't have to worry about that. I don't know the buzzword bingo anymore. All right. And so those things, not really there anymore until you become a sales manager, and then your broker starts, signing you up for stuff that you have to go to. That's a whole different thing. All right. So next one, let's go to the cons. Unpredictable income. All right. Unlimited, vast potential, zero guarantee you're actually going to get paid. Up to and including closing. All right. So you have to be able to budget. You have to learn to be very austere. Okay. You need to learn to make do. All right. If you have a whole bunch of bills and you need to make mortgage payments, car payments, insurance payments, child support payments, all right, plus whatever, and you need a guarantee net every month, real estate might not be for you because you will have dry spells. We just had a dry year. We had the slowest year since 2009. Right. That was when everybody was recovering from the crash and everybody was afraid to buy a house. We just had one of those. Right. On top of that, with the commission stuff that happened, unpredictable income. All right. I think I'm the only one that might even hit even close to my target numbers in my office this year. All right. So other thing is high competition. All right. Worst part of this job is everybody thinks any idiot can be a real estate agent. And the second worst thing is any idiot thinks they can be a real estate agent. All right. It is 90 hours, pass 2 tests. I never found the tests to be too particularly hard. Apparently others have. All right. And find yourself a brokerage and you too can be a real estate agent. It takes more training to become a hairstylist. All right. So there is a lot of people out there who think they're real estate agents. Right? There's a lot of people out there who are very good at marketing themselves who are being real estate agents, right? And so you're competing against everybody, right? Because of the very, very low threshold in entry. I want to say it's like 1 out of 150 people in Arizona is a real estate agent. It means everybody knows one. If you don't know a real estate agent, give me a call. I'll introduce you to myself. So that is what you're up against. You're not going to be the only guy working that subdivision. All right. You're not going to be the only neighborhood specialist because there's 3 other neighborhood specialists in there. Your podiatrist wife is a real estate agent. Everybody's got something. I was hoping for a bigger cull this year. All right. We still might have, but just to weed out the weak and infirm out of the real estate market. But they're still going to be there. And even if we do go 6 months, 6 months later, there's going to be a whole new class coming in, getting all ready to go. All right. Long hours. I've done 16 hours days. All right. I have woken up and started making phone calls at 6:30 in the morning. Okay. And gotten home at 10:30 at night. All right. Straight real estate the entire day. So remember when I was talking about flexibility? You're flexible until it's not flexible. And then you got to pay the cost to be the boss and go and get the job done that day. If you're not the kind of person who can handle that, you might have a problem. Yeah, this is why I should spell check stuff. All right. Next one. Now, as they said, emotional stress, but let's just talk stress in general. This is an incredibly stressful job. And is a stressful job because everything is ultimately on you. I like to use the term that I am the ringmaster of this chaos circus, and I need to make sure that the tigers jump through the hoops on time and not eat the clowns. All right, and you will ultimately be. It's your fault if anything goes wrong. House doesn't sell, your fault. Didn't find a house, your fault. Buyers didn't bid enough on the house in a hot market, and they had 17 other offers and they still wanted a low ball and they didn't get the house, still your fault. All right. all of your leads went dry that year or that month, okay, and the divorcing couple decided to get back together, and John and Nancy decided to go with the other real estate agent because, they didn't want, their family member, and your wife's looking at you going, hey, where's the money? Your fault. All right. And if you're not the kind of person who's willing to stress out and accept the stress on this, you're not going to be a good real estate agent. All right. You have to take extreme ownership on this. Read your inner Jocko. All right. Because agents who don't take extreme ownership are the ones who make excuses, and the excuses go out to everybody, and everybody realizes they never take responsibility. It's always their, even on the stuff that's obviously their fault, they're always and they get a bad reputation and they go away. They turn into that 80% who drops off. All right. So very, very stressful job, but I've never been shot at. Okay, and if you ever have that, like, what's your stress meter and what other people's stress meter may be of, like, getting shot at is, like, number 10. Okay, yeah, 7, 8, right? And there's ways to work with the stress, ways to deal with that, all right? And the last one is on the con side is continuing education classes, the fees, the dues, and general freaking real estate BS, especially over this last year, all right? Case in point, reading an article yesterday about the pastor of Virginia made a Christian posting back in 2015, all right, quoting Leviticus, all right, and any of you biblical scholars out there pretty much know where I'm going on this, but he quoted Leviticus, and next thing you know, today in 2024, 9 years later, he gets a little woke mob comes after him, and he loses his real estate license because, well, he did a double plus on bad thing back in 2015. Right? Going to be interesting to see exactly where the court goes on that. But, part of the general BS is that you're sort of living your life under a microscope. And if any group of people decide that they're upset at you for any kind of reason, they can go back through your social media account, find something you said back in 2015, and then go to the Department of Real Estate and the Virginia Board of Realtors and go, oh my God, this guy's a bad person. All right. So if you live your life in the shadows and you have stuff you want to hide, you might want to sort of stay out of real estate because you are incredibly public facing in this role. All right. Dues, everybody and their dog is trying to take money from you. All right. And it's literally $2,000-$3,000 a year just to pay, board fees and MLS fees and this fee. Some brokers charge brokerage fees. All right. This, that, and the other thing, okay? A lot of people are trying to take your money, and that's before the people who are trying to scam you and get you to pay $500 for a seminar on how to make YouTube videos, all right? And the continuing education classes, they just changed that up. They've added more classes, and they didn't want to add more hours, so they just did it around. So instead of their nice little scheduled, you can take this many classes and be done, now you got to go out there and seek 3 separate 1-hour classes that are being held somewhere and go learn about these. They weren't an important enough issue to get an entire 3-hour CE class. No, they were just enough to 1 hour, and we're going to discuss water. You're thinking that the big lawsuit out of Missouri and stuff was going to make real estate more affordable. All right. We were already at 2.5%, and it has not changed at all. All right. Only thing we do is we've effectively moved numbers around on the settlement statement. All right. But if you make 2.5% of a sale of $474,000, your commission check coming into your brokerage is going to be $11,850. Sound good so far? Of that, let's say you're paying your brokerage 20%. Now, there are brokers out there who do flat fee brokerages, right? And in response to that, I'm going to say you get what you paid for on that. And if you are a brand new real estate agent, I mean like brand new, you're going to need somebody to train you how to be a real estate agent. The class did not do anything. The test did not do anything. You need somebody to actually teach you how to go get business, how to actually negotiate things, how to do a home inspection, all right, and translate home inspectorees to clientese, all right? These are the things you need to learn how to do. As flat fee brokerages will sit there and say, oh yeah, we have a mentor program, and they will help you, and that mentor will be paid. All right. by you, not the brokerage. Some of these, will have, we have all this online training. If you're the kind of person who thinks you can learn online, great, go that way. All right. But that online training is not somebody you can call up and, in the middle of a closing and whine and snivel to them, right? Now, it's supposed to be your broker, but these flat fee brokerages have so many agents because they have to make it up in volume. They're not going to be there for you. All right. So you're going to calculate at least 20%. All right. Which is going to give you a check of $8,342 after taxes. Okay. Because remember, you being an independent contractor are now writing a check every 3 months to the Internal Revenue Service and you should calculate, to keep yourself out of trouble, about 12% of whatever you made that quarter. All right. So in the third quarter or in the first quarter, all right, instead of writing that check on April 15th, okay, and to the IRS for anything you didn't pay for last year, you're writing another one for the first quarter of 2025. All right, you got to learn to save that stuff up. Do not think you can get away with not paying your taxes. They'll come after you. All right, a whole bunch of those IRS agents that were supposed to go after the millionaires and the billionaires were actually pointed directly at small business owners and independent contractors, and they are taking it in the shorts. All right, because we're an easy audit. All right, we're always writing off our cars, and then when the IRS shows up, goes, well, where's your logbook? Well, how can you prove that you actually put 18,000 miles on your car last year? Okay, so we commit you to put $18,000 or 18,000 miles on your car, but how much of that was actually work related? Can you prove it? Okay, you're going to pay us more money. So pay your taxes, boys and girls. All right. So out of that $8,342, all right, sound pretty good so far? That is your paycheck. After taxes. This is not going to have your insurance payment removed. Your Blue Cross and Blue Shield policy, no, you're not getting that through your employer. You got to pay that extra. So you're paying a much, much higher insurance bill because your employer is always offsetting a little bit through the group plan. You got to go out there and shop your own group plan. All right. And you got to pay full freight on that. All right. You also got your car. All of your expenses in real estate also comes out of that. All right. $16 a month just for your armless fee, your super lockbox fees. All right. Websites, all those other things that you need to put out all come out of that. So you're thinking, hey, so who cares? I just made $8,000 paycheck. I've never made an $8,000 paycheck in my life. Like, hey, good for you. All right. But for you to make $50,000 a year, right, you need a minimum of 6 closings. And that's the rub of real estate. To do 6 closings a year, your average real estate agent, the majority of real estate agents last year in 2023, you know how many closings that they had in 2023? 0. None. Not a damn thing. I want you to put that in your brain. Nobody is guaranteed a paycheck in real estate. Not the agent, not the broker, not the lender, not the escrow officer, not the home inspector, not the appraiser. Nobody has a guaranteed paycheck in this entire thing. Right? This is the joy and the hurt of real estate. And it's actually a lot of fun. Right? But, right, if you think you want to make $50,000 a year, you need to make 6 closings a year. Let's break this down for you. You're going to have a washout. This does not mean you go out there and you find yourself 6 buyers and get them under contracts, right? Because those buyers will leave, right? They will fail. They will decide to move. They will decide they want to rent. They will suddenly run up their credit score. They will run down their credit score. They will lose their job, all right? So I tell my people, you got to calculate. You might close your first year 75% of the buyers you put in your car if you're good your first year, right? So out of those 6 closings a year, you need to work with 8 different groups of people. Where are you going to find those 8 groups of people? Your first year, it's friends and family. All right. After a little while, you've sold to your entire sphere of influence, and you need to grow your sphere of influence. That means you need to start doing things. We start doing stuff like conversion rate at this point. All right. Last time I calculated with the kids and stuff in class, I mean, we came up to the point where you had to meet 10 strangers a day. 10. I'm not talking to 10 people a day. I'm talking 10 people who did not know who you are at 8 o'clock this morning. And at 6 o'clock tonight when you drag your ass into your house. Right? In that window, you need to put your face and contact information in front of 10 strangers every day if you want to get 6 closings a year. All right? Now, if this is a class, this is where I start telling you how to find those 10 peoples a day. All right, how to use automation to get in front of those 10 people a day. All right, and how to better yourself, so you get that pipeline going. All right, and getting those things trickling down. All right, but that's ProStar. And you're not working for ProStar if you're watching this. All right, you're sitting there trying to figure out if you want to be a real estate agent. So if you hit that conclusion that you've decided you want to be a real estate agent, right? It's like, I don't care what Ray says. I can do it. I am that kind of self-starter. All right. I can budget. I can live lean. I can work my ass off. I can watch children and pets around the water. All right. And I can never drive in anything flooded because I see a flood and I drive around these things. All right. And I can work my circle like a big dog. And each and every weekend, I'm going to have a great weekend because I'm going to get through with a light heart, clear plan, and hopefully well-qualified buyers in my car. You guys have a great weekend. I'll see you after Christmas.